So, have we all calmed down after last night's embarrassing defeat to BATE Borisov in the Borisov arena? The fallout from that game has been absolutely unbelievable. Fans all fighting with each other online, blah, blah, blah. Come on, listen. At the end of the day, we've got a second leg to look forward to Thursday coming. And I fully think that we should all get buzzed up and look forward to that. We've got a whole week off. The players were back in training today. It was nice to see that that they haven't actually been given a couple of rest days. They're actually back on it. And that's good to see after a shock and embarrassing defeat like last night. Obviously, I'm going to get into my player ratings in a minute. Before I do that, big up everyone who's subscribed to the channel recently and all of those that have been there along the way. And all the people that are liking and sharing my content around and the ones commenting, even the negative ones. Appreciate you watching it. So keep doing likewise, keep sharing the content around, and obviously hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button and turn the notifications bell on. We'll start off with Petr Cech. Obviously, he's the goalkeeper. I don't think that he had a great deal of stuff to do last night. I don't think that he had to make many saves, although the saves he did make were decent. It weren't like he was spilling them or he was dropping them or anything like that. He couldn't do anything with the goal. That was poor play from Kashani. So Petr Cech for me is going to get a 6 out of 10. I thought that he was quite composed when the ball was played back to him as well, which is something that has not been in Petr Cech's game this season. Normally he flaps and starts scuffing it in nearly into his own goal. So it was nice to see that he actually had a bit of calmness in his game last night, even though it was the wrong result. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. This kid was decent against Huddersfield the other day. I thought he played really, really well. I thought that he would have gone into this game full of confidence and took it by the scruff of his neck, but he didn't do that. I thought he hid most of the night. He didn't really have any ideas going forward. Every time he got to the box, he stopped and went backwards, and he kept giving the ball away as well. Yes, he made recovery tackles, but not enough, and he was sloppy defensively. One of his worst performances in an Arsenal shirt, if not the worst performance he's had in an Arsenal shirt. So for me, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. On to Kashani. Kashani could have scored twice last night, but he didn't. He blazed both of them wide, one either half. At the end of the first half, he shanked one left-hand side, and in the second half, he blazed one across goal nearly at the corner flag. And he, like I said a minute ago, was actually at fault for our goal, or part of the fault lays at his door. He ducked. He actually ducked. The guy got a run on him and he ducked and let the guy win the header. Now, for a guy of the size of him, everyone calls him the tank. Why is he ducking? Why are you hiding and ducking and being weak in the defensive area when we're lining up to defend a set piece? Why are you doing that? I don't get it. For that reason, I'm going to give Kashani, because he went forward, had a couple of chances, got into good areas, I'm going to give him a 3 as well. If he hadn't have had them couple of chances and got forward as much as he had, I would have marked him less. But I'm giving him a 3 purely and simply because he was in them positions, although he didn't take the chances he had. But ducking on a header is just unacceptable. It's disgraceful. On to Mustafi. Played at centre-back last night. Didn't have a great deal to do. When he did have stuff to do, I thought he'd done pretty well. There was a chance in the second half where the guy was running towards our box, and him and Kashani, I think it was trying to track him, and he was cool as a cucumber, nicked the ball back and walked off. I was actually quite surprised it was Mustafi when I see it. I actually thought he played fairly well last night, and I think the back line, or the 3 centre-backs, actually played not too bad, but I think that he was the best out of that bunch. I'm going to give him 5 out of 10. Kashani, obviously next to him, again, didn't really have much to do last night. Didn't really affect the game because he was null and void for most of it, the same as all of them. But I think that Mustafi gets a better score than him based on the fact that I think when Mustafi had the work to do, he'd done it a lot easier. So for that reason, I'm going to give Kashani a 4. Nacho Monreal. Where do we start with this? Well, he was getting absolutely roasted every time the guy got the ball down his side. Kept giving away fouls, ultimately gave away the free kick that resulted in their goal. And other than that, he was anonymous for the rest of the game because they didn't really do anything. But he looks to me now like he is an ageing footballer. I've sung his praises for years. I think he's been one of the most consistent players we've had in the last 5 years. But he is now at that stage where he's past it. He's not good enough anymore. Yes, I know he's playing at centre-back and he's half decent at centre-back. But ultimately, this game is all about pace and physicality nowadays. And he ain't got either. So for that reason of being roasted all night, giving away the free kick that led to the goal, he is getting 2 out of 10. Granit Xhaka got substituted, went off, didn't really see him for most of the game, if I'm being completely honest. Hardly heard the commentators mention his name. Don't think he did a great deal defensively or offensively. Yeah, he played a couple of nice passes across the pitch, but other than that, he was anonymous, and he was supposed to be our deep-lying playmaker. I know he played a slightly different position last night, and that job was for Gwen Dozy to do, but even so, he played a little bit further forward, and he didn't affect the game one bit. The fact that he got substituted as well obviously summed up his evening. I'm giving Granit Xhaka a 3 out of 10. Gwen Dozy started the game well, playing the balls around, energy levels high. We know that with him. He's a kid, he's got high energy levels. He'll get about the pitch, he'll be left, right, centre. He was covering for Monreal at one stage. He was tracking all the way back to the corner flag. I get that. But ultimately, he was shit last night. Let's be real. He was absolutely rubbish. He played some nice forward passes in the first half through the lines, cutting their defence open. But ultimately, he just got worse and worse and worse throughout the whole of that game. And I'm going to give him a 2. And that's being generous, because I thought the 2's only come off for the first 20 minutes of play. But listen, he'll get better. He's a kid. And yeah, we move on. On to Mycket Arion. I was singing his praises after Huddersfield. I thought he was our best player at Huddersfield. I thought he'd done really well considering it was his first game back. And I thought that he got up and down the pitch against them really well. Had an effect on both the goals. Had parts in that. But yesterday, was he playing? Can somebody tell me, did he actually play? I know I see his name on the team sheet, but seriously, I can't believe how poor that guy was last night. And I've not been his biggest fan since he's joined Arsenal. I think that he's been pretty poor since he's been here, if I'm being completely honest. But last night, that was a disappearing act. 1 out of 10. And he only gets a 1 because he put his shirt on. Alex Iwobi. The much maligned Alex Iwobi. Always the scapegoat, as it seems. Not for me. I don't think he was the scapegoat last night. I think that, yes, he didn't play great. I thought he played better than a lot of them on the pitch. In fact, most of them on the pitch, if I'm being honest. I think that he carried on trying. He carried on taking people on. But ultimately, his final ball, which is what everybody says, let him down. And it did last night. His final pass last night was either too hard or too soft. He kept... It was just baffling. He kept trying to overhit a pass or down the wing when Lacazette was coming short. But then when Lacazette was going in through the back of him, like through the centre-backs, it hit it too short straight to the centre-back. It was so frustrating. And I get why people were on his case. But the fact that he carried on, and he was the only one throughout most of the game to try and take people on and try and create something, then I'm going to give him a 5. Let me know what you think on that. I know people are going to hate on that, but listen, without him on the pitch, we wouldn't have created anything, really, would we? Let's be real. Him and Gwen Dozy, apart from that, nobody else created anything. But anyway, on to Lacazette. Obviously, he is now suspended for the return fixture by stupidly elbowing the geezer in the face. Yeah, it weren't the hardest elbow you'll ever see, and the geezer made a meal of it, but he still raised his arm. You can't do that. And I get why he was frustrated. I was frustrated watching it. So I can imagine what it was like being in that game. Frustrating as fuck, but at the end of the day, control yourself a little bit. That is going to be a big miss for us next Thursday. Other than that, I thought Lacazette missed 2 absolute sitters in the first half. He's got to bury them. And there was another one where he tried to take it out the air and it just spooned off his shin, I think, straight to the keeper, or he didn't control it properly. But other than that, he was anonymous. His pressing was rubbish. his tackling was non-existent, and his runs in behind were pathetic. He didn't even bother half the time. The couple of times he did, like I said, Iwobi found their centre-back, and then he started dropping deep, coming short. So then there was no one in the box when we were whipping crosses in. 2 out of 10. Let's hope he gets better the next game, because that is not what we want to be seeing from our £50 million striker. On to the substitutes. Aubameyang came on, and I think he had 3 touches the whole time he was on the pitch. Again, wanted to come short, kept dropping deep. That ain't good enough when we're trying to get crosses in the box for a striker. And all the time your striker's out on the wing, dropping deeper into midfield, you're never going to be able to score a goal. 2 out of 10. Lucas Torreira, I thought he done all right when he came on. I don't think he was great, but I don't think any of them were great. He didn't have a great deal to do, let's be honest. Obviously, we dominated most of the possession, especially when he came on, because they were sitting deeper and deeper and deeper, parking the bus. But I thought his all-round play was actually quite tidy. I thought that he done pretty well, to be honest with you. I know he wasn't on the pitch for a great length of time, and he actually limped off at stoppage time, full time, sorry. He actually was walking off with a limp. So let's hope he's okay, and let's hope he's fit. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Dennis Suarez came on, again, similar to Iwobi, was trying to take players on, and until he came on, Iwobi was the only one doing that. I thought that he didn't look up to speed, and I've said that for 3 games that he's featured in now. He hasn't looked quite up to the pace of it at the moment. Obviously that's going to come, but we're running out of games now. And if he does feature on Thursday, let's hope he gets up to speed pretty sharpish, because he's not near it yet. But I do think he played fairly well when he came on. He was the only one who got a corner past the first man, and he was the only one that was trying to whip lofted high balls into the box instead of stupid low driven ones. 4 out of 10. Unai Emery, I thought he got it wrong last night. I thought that his squad selection, not so much the squad selection, but the starting 11, should I say. I thought his starting 11 was all wrong. It was all wrong. And that showed in the end. His substitutions were poor. Like I said, they didn't really affect the game other than Suarez's couple of crosses. But that ain't good enough against a team that haven't played for 2 months. So, yeah, big week ahead in training for him. He needs to fix it up and get the lads firing for Thursday. I'm going to give Unai Emery a 3 out of 10. And the fans travelled all the way to Belarus, all the way to Minsk. And I know what that journey's like. I've been there, I've done it. And it was freezing cold. The snow was on the ground. And they sung their hearts out. And then while the players are flying back on their nice, clean and tidy, warm private jet, they're all traipsing around Europe on their way back. So fair play to every single person who went out to BATE Borisov last night in Belarus. I'm giving all of them a 10 out of 10. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down there. Let me know whether you think the ratings are wrong. Give me your ratings. Rate all the players. Stick them in the comments section. And we move on. I'll also be dropping a video tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on that, because this evening Mesut Ozil has tweeted something out, and it's caused a bit of a kerfuffle, should we say. So I'll be giving my thoughts on that tomorrow. I'll be recording that later on this evening, and that'll be out tomorrow afternoon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share. I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.